another blockage that keeps people from being successful is unforgiveness. Like sometimes people unconsciously or consciously harbor resentment, animosity, unforgiveness towards somebody, revenge. If you're harboring like unforgiveness, then what the signal you're sending out to the universe is somebody owes me something. They owe me an apology. They should make amends. When I was younger, they did this to me, and those people said that about me. So the universe interprets that as somebody owes you something. That means you're missing something. And if you're missing something, that turns into debt. So that you want to keep your conscience so clear that you're not creating debt by unforgiveness. So that's also part of the cleaning out of the mental debris. So that, because we all have stories. Yeah. People have talked about us, they've gossiped about us, they lied about us. They
still do.
Still do. Matter of fact, if you become successful, they really talk about you. Oh, how did he do that? He must have stole something, or whatever, And so you have to keep your mind clean and bless all of those people. I thank critics because they make me go deeper in prayer. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're really making me go in now.
Yeah. So the harder the thing to forgive, the stronger it probably makes you.
Yes.
Because you're doing something that in your head it feels like, how can I forgive this person?
Yeah.
But in your heart, you can forgive that person. It might take time, but you can do it.
Listen, years ago, before I started Agape, I was invited to be the spiritual director of the spiritual community. And I said, I really don't think it's a fit for me, but, I would speak there occasionally, and the congregation wanted me to be the spiritual director. And there were people on the board that wanted me to be the spiritual director, but there was a few people on there that were racist, and they did not want a melanated person to be the director of this community. And they started all these rumors about me that I didn't graduate from school and all this stuff. I graduated with the highest honors, and all these lies. And it was like, this is a spiritual community. Why are they acting like this? So anyway, at the end of the day, I said, you know what? I'm going to take my name out of this hat. You guys get yourself together. And subsequently, they hired a woman that stole money. And then that particular community, there was a big earthquake, and the community, the building split. They couldn't meet there anymore. So they got their worst fear. They hired somebody that was going to steal, and then the building fell apart. But this is the point. They took me to a depth of forgiveness. It's like when a lot of my supporters were mad, I said, no, don't be mad. It's just not my place. I'll be in my right place. Let's just forgive them and love them. They're ignorant. These are I would call them our younger brothers and sisters. Because if a person is racist, that just means they have a disease. So you have to treat them the same way you would treat an alcoholic, a person that has cancer. They just have a disease. Just bless them, But I did say this, though. I said, I'm never going to put my destiny in somebody else's hands. I'm going to start my own community. So I started Agape. I founded Agape. Years later, those people came to Agape, came in, and we're there at Agape having a great time and worshiping and celebrating, and they cried and they apologized to me and made amends. Will you forgive us? Will you forgive us? And I said, I have forgiven you a long time ago. Even while that was going on, I was forgiving you. So I have nothing to forgive. And I'm glad you came back to yourself, to these principles. But they did take me to the depth of forgiveness in my own soul, which of course became more of who I was as I'm dealing with a growing community, just staying in spiritual Teflon,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it does happen. I want to double tap on that because a similar experience happened with me when I was just starting to coach.
Yeah.
Where I was with a group of coaches. And again, coaches are kind-hearted, supposed to be kind-hearted,
right,
understanding, non-judgmental people. One of the biggest rules of coaching is don't judge.
Right.
And I go into this community because somebody takes me, I'm new, so they're like, hey, these are all the people that you look up to. Let me introduce you to them. I was like, great, that's just a wonderful, beautiful start. There was a friend of mine who were friends with them. And so I go to this private room to go have a conversation with them, and everybody's introducing themselves. And as I go, hey, I'm a new coach. I'm just learning how to start this, and I'm gonna start EverCoach at that time. That's what it was called. And the person standing right across me, a tall white man, looks right at me and says, "You're not gonna be successful."
He just tells you this.
Yeah, say it. Like when I'm introducing myself, I just finished introducing myself, and he smirks and says, "You're not gonna be successful." And I was like, why? I mean, I was firstly surprised because like, who says that? Like on your face.
Right.
But I was like, okay, maybe he's seeing something. Maybe it's a joke, like he's going to come back. Like he's going to be like one of those funny things. So like, why? And he goes, "Oh, you're brown and you have an accent. So people won't take you seriously."
Like Deepak Chopra.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I mean, wherever, I mean, and to me, that person was somebody that I really did look up to at that time. So it took me off for like 2 months. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be trying to doing this. Maybe it is not meant for me. Maybe my skin tone is wrong and I can't do anything about that anyways. So, and neither about my accent. I grew up in India. So I have I picked words from everywhere I traveled. So I pronounce and enunciate things differently sometimes.
Right. You're
And
worldly.
Yeah, it's just who I am. I can't change that. So it took me off like 2 months. I couldn't get myself to really do what I wanted to do until I realized that there's no point stopping because of somebody's judgment.
Absolutely.
And if anything, that is more of a reason for me to do what I can, because that shows more people that no, the doors are not closed. It's just nobody has gone through it. And in the coaching community, in the spiritual community, it has happened before. Of course, you are there, and Deepak Chopra is there, and so forth. But the coaching community, until then, there was no really known brown person.
Right.
And ever since now, we have people from all different cultures, not just Indians, like Spanish-speaking individuals, because they go, "Oh, if this kid can do it, or this guy can do it, we can too." So it gives permission. Yeah. So person through the door will often get the brunt of it or grunt of it, whatever is the right word for it.
The brunt of it. Brunt of it. You would see pioneers take the brunt initially.
Yeah.
And then they pave a way for other people to follow.
Yeah.
When I started Agape, they called Agape a no-fly zone, and they told people, many of the traditional people said that if you go to Agape, you're going to go to hell. Then I was an antichrist kind of a vibe. But now those same people, many of them have passed over, but the ones who are still alive, they love me. They want to be taught by me. They are very open now. It's like what was woo-woo years ago is now science today.